Welcome back to Clubhouse Chronicles, the place where the central Illinois music scene gets loud, proud, and unfiltered. I'm Twitt, your host with the most, ready to spin you the stories, the sounds, and the struggles behind the bands that are making waves right here in your backyard. Clubhouse Chronicles is the official podcast of Broken Record Music Club, your favorite independent record label bringing you music for whatever you are going through. With that, let's buckle on up because this isn't just a podcast. It's your front row ticket to the heart of your indie music scene. And today, we're just doing it live. We're off the cuff today. We're a little off script. No worries. So we're loose with it. But I'm sitting here with an artist from the Champaign-Urbana area. And she might be the busiest person I've ever met in Champaign-Urbana. She's got her hands in a lot of different places, little cookie jars all over the town. I am super thankful that she has made a little time for me to sit and pick her brain. I'm talking about Roseli, a.k.a. Marieli Lopez. Welcome to the Clubhouse, Marieli. Thank you for being here.
I love being in the Clubhouse. Thank you so much for having me. Such a big fan of this podcast, and I'm so excited to answer your questions today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Like I said in the intro, I think you're one of the busiest people this is our first time interacting, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I have just heard from other people like, oh yeah, Marieli's doing this. Marieli's doing that. Like Julia Pretzel Records, you're one of her interns. And then I'm on the board at WEFT. And WEFT is like, oh yeah, Roseli came out to our show.
I love WEFT.
She's trying to do stuff. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, she does not rest.
Yeah, I feel like, since coming to Urbana-Champaign 4 years ago, I really just fell in love with the music scene. Everything about it is just so wonderful. And I'm sure we're going to talk more about it in the podcast today. But it just felt almost seamless to just gradually enter into the music scene, and as just in different ways. You start as a show goer, as a music enjoyer, and then it could kind of blossom into something more like me creating music or supporting from behind the scenes, doing more promotional stuff. I love everyone in the community. It's so awesome. So like this, I'm just happy to be here, and I also feel like I do have a little bit of FOMO, so I just kind of want to see what is happening everywhere. It just keeps me so happy. So yeah.
Honestly, so relatable about the FOMO. There's so much cool stuff going on. You just want to be a part of it all the time.
Exactly.
So I don't blame you at all. Like Marieli said, we're going to kind of dig a little deeper on her story as Roseli, which is her solo project that got started this year. Marieli, you're part of Venus Overdrive, which I would consider your main project. But what made you want to explore this route on your own?
Yeah, of course. So Venus Overdrive is my everything. I do love Venus. I love Alex and Ava so much. And I always know that whatever song I write, going with them is always in good hands. But I actually started Roseli when I was a wee little 15-year-old. I had some friends and some family members who were like, oh, I love your voice. You should hop on this track. And that was very much so for R&B and hip hop type stuff, which is very different from what I do in Roseli or Venus. And this was back in Chicago. And then I had that as under Roseli, just as solo stuff. But then when I went to the Urbana music scene, I found my community there, and rock music has always been my first love. I met Alex and Ava, and it just naturally, I was more focused on the band than ever really focusing on my solo music. I still worked on solo music here and there when I was in the band, stuff that didn't necessarily feel kind of alt rock, but was more poppy. So I kind of just kept that to myself. And then what started happening is that I graduated. Ava and Alex are in the same year. I actually didn't think that I'd be here for 4 years that I was. I actually thought I would be moving back up to Chicago with my family. And then in turn, Alex and Ava got super busy with scheduling, so Venus wasn't really going to be able to play as much. And I think you could see if you look at the Venus Overdrive Instagram, we kind of slowed down a lot of our performances. I think we used to play 7 shows a semester, which was no, it had to have been more. But now I think we only play 4 shows a semester, and I wanted to keep performing, and I was like, oh, maybe this is the perfect opportunity to bring some of the songs that I wrote in my bedroom to a bigger audience. And it just felt kind of natural like that. So that's kind of how Roseli happened to blossom more in Urbana. It was just really nice, yeah, to kind of continue something I left in Chicago, bring it here, and make it more so my own.
You've done a lot. Within this year, less than a year, you've done an awful lot. I mean, I see you playing as Roseli in a lot of different places all over town. You said you kind of formed this music that you wanted to create, originally, was it just going to stick as you solo acoustic, or were you always going to intend to like build a band around yourself?
Yeah, so I honestly wasn't too sure when I first thought about it. So the first song that I ever wrote for the Roseli project being solo was Split Ends, and that was just a guitar and my thoughts. And I talked about this a lot on another project or with another podcast. Champagne's also a band. I love them a lot too. And I kind of dove into like the process of that. It was mostly just an acoustic stuff because that's all kind of what I knew at that point. Like I loved rock music, but all I could really play was an acoustic guitar, and I just felt very vulnerable in that moment. But I think once I started writing my second song, which is Indie Girl, which is going to be released in fall, I'm really excited. I started to kind of hear more instrumentation for that. I heard like drum fills, I heard like a bass, I heard all these really cool lead parts, and I was like, I think I would love to perform this live, and that would definitely um, encourage a band. And then also just like my personal influences for this project specifically, I'm very much influenced by Beach Bunny and Beepa Doobie. And those are very much like power poppy projects. And I really like the sound of that. So I definitely started off as something to be like, oh, I don't know, but all I know is how to play is like an acoustic guitar, to eventually hearing more instrumentation in my head and kind of deciding, yeah, I want guitars, I want drums, I want a bass. I think that'd be awesome.
So you're pulling from people like Beach Bunny in this project. How does that compare creatively to your stuff with Venus Overdrive? Is there a difference at all? Or are you still pulling similar material from what you use like when you're creating stuff for Venus Overdrive?
I'd say it's a bit of both. I think when I first started, the project started as me and Alex, and we were looking for a drummer at the time, but we knew we just wanted to get songs going. Um, and the earlier songs that we were making were very much more so power poppy. And that was definitely some more Beach Bunny stuff coming in, and that's where a lot of my melodies drew from. But then as we grew, I think we started listening to more music, and we started listening to more like punk bands too. I think at the time in like 2021, 2022, I'd say that the scene kind of feels a little more hardcore and indie now, which is a really interesting
Very true.
blend. But when Alex and I were first going to house shows, it was definitely more punk. And we were like, okay, like, if we want to like cement ourselves in this scene, there has to be some punk influences. And what really helped was that Ava knew a lot about the Riot Girl genre. So we would cover Bikini Kill. And I think when we started writing songs, like I eventually incorporated like screamo into that, which is definitely something that I wouldn't do any screaming vocals for the Roseli project, maybe one day. But as of right now, that's kind of not in the cards. So in some ways, in some like the primary thing I do with Venus Overdrive is write the melodies. So in some ways you could kind of hear that power poppy. It's still very much pop with the vocals, but I am also am encouraged by Ava and Alex to kind of see what other genres I can incorporate in there. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does.
Okay.
I want to stay on this like creative tangent, because one of my favorite things in talking with artists is how they see their music, where they pull from, what do they model themselves after, or influences. That's the word.
Yeah, of course.
Who they're influenced by. When you're writing for Roseli, is it from the same place that you do with Venus Overdrive as well, or are you more open with your emotions with one project or the other?
That's so hard. I feel like it's a bit of both. So there are certain songs within Venus Overdrive that are so unapologetically my feelings and very, very honest. However, there's also some cases where we would be performing those same songs over and over again, and we were like, okay, we need to get like a new song out, and we need to get it out fast. And then in doing so, I didn't really have any personal experiences to pull from. So then I would have to kind of make up a situation in my mind and still sing it, which still very much felt like my music, but it didn't felt like it was 100% me. However, with Roseli, I kind of have that time to be like, oh, okay, I'm happy with playing the same like 7 songs right now, because that's like just a choice from me, not the whole band. So with Roseli, I think whenever I write a song, that's definitely 100% pulling from personal experiences and what I'm thinking in that moment. With Venus, I'd say it's most of the time that as well, but sometimes when we're like kind of playing like shows back to back to back to the same audience, and we're like, okay, we definitely need new songs. And when we're like kind of in that crunch time, I'm like, okay, I have to get more innovative. I have to pretend I'm like someone completely different.
Got to switch it up for the crowd.
Yeah, I mean, when you're playing in the same town all the time and then like you have like two shows in one weekend, you're like, damn, like what if like the same people come to the show again? We're just gonna play the exact same set. Like it's scary. I want to be able to give people memorable experience for for each concert, for each performance, you know? I don't want it to feel like the same music every single time.
So in what ways do you then go about changing up the set? Is there just deeper Roseli cuts that you're singing, or is it more covers, or like what's the ideas that run through your head at that point?
Yeah, so in terms of changing up a Roseli set, I think my favorite part is that I could also perform acoustically. So whenever I do like shows that are back to back, one may be like a band setting, and I definitely have some songs for Roseli that can't really be, or at least I can't see them being transcribed as an acoustic setting, so I just completely leave it out the set. There are some songs that I have that are just purely acoustic, so I won't perform that in a band setting. And then I'll change up the covers a lot. I think a lot of the covers that we do are pretty different each time around. So yeah, that's kind of how I balance it. And it's a lot easier for the Roseli project since a lot of my songs are either acoustic or for the band setting versus Venus, like we just got the drums and the two guitars each time.
The acoustic full band dynamic, like it's so different, and you get
Oh,
probably
thank you.
that goal of having a different feel for every time you go out and see Roseli. Like I feel like that's super tangible when you have that contrast between the two.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Mhm.
try.
So you mentioned earlier that Alex, who's a member of Venus Overdrive, is also a part of the Roseli project, and he joked that it was as like a hired gun. Um, was it intentional to have him in the band, or was it just kind of something that fell into place?
Yeah, so I think it kind of made sense for him to be in the band. He was one of the first people I showed my first single Split Ends to, and that being a very vulnerable song in itself. I just felt like I really trusted him, and I also just really like his style of playing. I also showed him like all of my earlier songs. He knew all of them, and like he would just be kind of curious, like, oh, like what do you hear in that like part there? And then I'd try to play it on guitar. I'm not a lead player. Like I know what parts to hit, but it just sounds so awful. And then he'd have his guitar with him, and then he'd be like, oh, you mean like this? And then he does it like effortlessly. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly how it sounds in my head. So it just kind of felt natural to have him there. He's like my best friend. He's my boyfriend. He's my everything. I love him so much. So it just felt right to have him on stage there with me because I feel like he could read my mind so well when it comes to music stuff.
It translates very well. I was just
Thank you.
curious. You have one song out currently, Split Ends, released in February.
Yes.
You have Indie Girl coming out. Split Ends is old news. I want to hear about Indie Girl because that's coming out soon. So
Yeah.
hit me with it. Or what are we expecting?
Yeah, man, I'm honestly not too sure what to say about it. It's definitely longer than Split Ends. It has more instrumentation, and I feel like it tells more of a story. It's a bit of a longer song, and it kind of goes through the phases of what it's like to kind of see someone in kind of an overly romanticized way. Indie Girl is basically about me finding this person and kind of idolizing them in a way that's sort of unhealthy and kind of how I wanted to be that person without actually knowing them. And the story goes a lot deeper than that, but it's basically a song that just talks about me kind of not feeling enough comparing myself to someone on social media. There's a lot more that comes with the story, but I don't want to spoil it. Just because I feel like it's definitely one of my more vulnerable experiences that I felt. I mean, I also feel like a lot of people kind of go through that experience where we're like, oh, I can't measure up when I kind of see like that one person on social media or different people having different lives. But I'm really excited for it to come out just because it not only shows my growth as a songwriter, but it also has a lot of fun melodies and it has some really cool lead guitar parts. So I'm very excited about it.
That's awesome. So you
Thank
said
you.
fall. Do you have a date at all that we can get excited about, or is it's too far
Ooh.
away?
It's a little too far away. I will say something I do want to mention though is Tone Good Studio. They actually helped record it. I love Mark. He's super awesome. And then Alex, he did the lead for it. and he also played bass and a few keys. And then my good friend Sin Ham from Original Sin Productions, and Sin's everywhere. She's in like every band. She played the drums for it. So it all really felt magical when we recorded it. So everything is set in place except for the cover art. I currently found someone to do it. I commissioned them and it's in the works right now. So once that cover art is done, I can officially start promoting it to you all, and it's going to be so much fun. I'm excited.
Hey, fun cover
Exactly.
art. Support small creators. Don't use
Exactly.
AI. It's
This ain't
trashy.
no AI stuff. It's actually going to be hand drawn, so I'm really excited for that too. The Split Ends cover was hand drawn by a good friend of mine's little sibling. And I asked them to do it again. It just felt so cool, and I like keeping that consistency throughout. So it's going to be awesome.
It adds such a nice touch to it.
Yes.
Like, I want to say this because for those of you that don't know, Marieli is an intern for our friend Julie at Pretzel Records, and I have this long running joke with Julie and this podcast because I have every single artist on the label like that have come through here, and I joke that it's just another easy content week for her because she just got to repost the clips. I feel like this is another situation. So Julie, you're welcome for the content. I know Marieli is doing a good job promoting all of the Pretzel Records merch and all the stuff he's got going on. The video today was fun.
Was it actually? I was unsure of what I was doing.
I liked it. The Pretzel Records shirt was such a surprise, though. And then, like, Julie got on the story after. She's like, yeah, we made these. We didn't even announce it.
I didn't know that either, though. Like, I just kind of, I think what happened was I was just in the office one day and I was just trying to get as much content as I could. And I was like, oh, there's like a ton of shirts like back there. And I was like, we're trying to sell them. I'm like, I'm just going to like try all of them on and see what happens. I had no idea that we didn't announce that. So I feel off. I mean, it seemed like it worked out, though. I'm glad you liked the video, though. I tried very hard. For some reason, that out of all the videos I've done so far, that took the longest.
Well, you got to think about all the time it took to put on one of the shirts and then do your little show it off, spin around.
Can you imagine how silly I look in that office? That's me doing my job. Like, that's so unreal.
Is there any windows in the office? I haven't been there. So, I mean, at least you don't have like someone like walking by being like, what are they doing in there?
Yeah, but I do have Julie in there. So like while she's like working, like while she's actually doing real stuff for Pretzel Records, she'll just look at me like jumping around and spinning in the corner. It's my favorite.
That's so funny. Well, shout out Julie, shout out Pretzel Records.
Yes, we love them.
We love our friends. If you haven't already, pre-order Liz Allen's latest album. Former guest on the podcast, Liz Allen, her album Boyish coming out. I pre-ordered it. You should too. It's on vinyl.
Oh, hell yes. Guys, her album sounds so good. I've listened to a few songs. Amazing. Pretty please.
With that, I know, Marieli, we said this was off the cuff. I'm like, I have two questions left, and it's the two we always finish with. So I feel like we've run our course here a little bit. Stay tuned for sometime soon. Venus Overdrive will be on the podcast. We're going to talk to the full band about everything they got going on and their song Until Then, which if you haven't streamed it, you should. It's fire.
Thank you.
I love it. We're going to talk about the Central Illinois music scene, which you said you wanted to talk about earlier. So let's dive a little deeper with these last couple questions.
Absolutely.
What would you say your favorite thing is about the Central Illinois music scene?
Oh, so like what's not to love, you know? Like I love everything about it. I mean, I feel like the number one answer that I hear everyone saying that I gotta agree with is the people. Like you don't have to be good to start playing here. Like it's not intimidating. Everyone's just super supportive. Like it's amazing if you are good, but it's also okay if you're just starting out and if you're just kind of spreading your wings for the first time. That's especially how it felt like with me for Roseli and Venus Overdrive. So first thing I gotta say is the people, just because they're so considerate, so nice. And I also think that all of the DIY venues and all of the local businesses do a good job of keeping a very safe and inclusive environment. That's one of the most important things to me. Yeah, so the people, and then also just the music is really good. I talked about this a lot with the Pretzel Records team, just with Julie, as well as the interns, that a lot of the music just signifies so much, you know, in the Central Illinois music scene. We talk a lot about advocacy, self-expression, It just goes a lot deeper than just performing, you know. And the music itself sounds really good. I love we have so many different rock genres here. We kind of talked about earlier how like it kind of comes and goes in like what's the most popular genre, like hardcore, indie, punk, and stuff like that. But there's still a lot here. Like I do know some like more shoegaze bands down here. I know some alt rock ones. It's a lot of different genres within rock, and then obviously we have our pop stars, we have our country acts, we have our bluegrass. There's a lot down here that people don't expect, and I just like that regardless of what genres that we play, everyone keeps that homey Midwest vibe. Like you're here, and we love that you're here and you're doing great. Yeah.
That is the best. And it's a topic that I can talk for hours about too, is just the amount of talent. Like you would never expect there to be like just a ton of great music in central Illinois in general, like Champaign-Urbana, Bloomington, Peoria, like everywhere. It's just so much going on. And it's such a shame that there's not more light on it. In my opinion, that like you said, it's more than just music too. The band that I like to think about, you know, having such a important message is Sweet Milk. Like, there's just flat out advocates for queer people everywhere, and it's giving people a sense of community and a space to, you know, listen to music and feel safe. Like that's just like a whole nother piece of it that gets added on top of it, and it's so important.
I love Sweet Milk. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Were you at their live album recording by chance?
I wish I was. I was actually getting over a cold. But Julie sent me all the clips from that. I mean, I also love Emily the band too. And Emily the band opened. But I had the pleasure of going through all of those clips and seeing a lot of Sweet Milk's performances. And I put the reel together on the Pretzel Records Instagram. So it's like one way, in some ways I got to see a little bit of it, but I wish I was there. It sounded so good.
I can't wait to hear the record when it comes out. It's gonna be sweet.
I can't wait to promote it as well.
She's behind the scenes. She's working on the Instagram. Well, this is the hardest question for people, and it's also our last question. So
okay, hit me.
We're gonna we save the hardest hitting for last. Who would you say are some of your favorite artists or bands in the Central Illinois music scene right now?
Okay, you saved me with right now because I would literally list like everyone. I love everyone here so much. Just like you said, there's just so much talent. Not only is everyone so sweet, but everyone is really talented. Like everyone's just so considerate and just so awesome. Oh my goodness. Right now, I would say I've been listening to a lot of Nectar. I love Nectar so much. They are so freaking good, especially with like the indie punk and power pop genre. As I've said, I'm really big fan of. All their songs are so good. I went to their recent show at the Space, and that was awesome. I loved it. I got to get one of their set lists, and I was like, I was just fangirling. I love Nectar so much. I also love Emily the band. I've just been listening to them for a while, and they had their Moi EP that recently came out, and Venus got to open for them, which was awesome. So I've been listening to that as well. There's so many people I can name though. There's a few artists that started in Central Illinois that kind of migrated to Chicago or kind of are something different now. I just wanted to quickly mention Soft and Dumb and Kangaroo Court. Those are very good bands that I miss so dearly. Being in Central Illinois, it's kind of hard to see them pop out, especially with Soft and Dumb now being Star Charm is really cool. But I just remember like hearing like the Soft and Dumb project was awesome.
I know them. I was like Soft and Dumb, like, and then you said Star Charm because I follow them. They're really good. I really like their music. Are.
Hell yes. I'm so excited. I think Star Charm is coming out with their first official single. But yeah, I knew about the project before it was Star Charm when it was Soft and Dumb. So that was really, really cool. I saw Lonnie, which is the front woman. I think she opened for, I forgot who it was. It was a performance at the American Football House though. That was really, really good though. I went with Alex. It was just so awesome. But there's so many artists I can name. I'm kind of feeling a little like nervous now. I'm kind of blanking. But the ones that I mentioned, Nectar, Emily the Band, Kangaroo Court, and Soft and Dumb are all very good that started in Central Illinois.
Kangaroo Court is something serious.
They're a beast.
I saw them open for Harrison Gordon at the Castle, and
shut up.
Talk about like getting things started the right way.
Yeah, Harrison Gordon is also just so cool and so nice. Very awesome person.
That is what I've heard. I haven't heard many bad things about Harrison. Just as a person, I've heard he's just a really cool guy, down to earth person, and always like willing to help artists, which is what you want to hear about these artists that are like getting bigger in the scene.
Exactly. I remember Venus played with him with his project Chuck's Papas, and it was
Mhm.
before we had music out, and it was when we were kind of workshopping Denial. And then I think we sent it over to him, or I think he heard our performance, and then he was like, "Hey, do you guys have anything out?" And we are like, "Oh, like we have this demo that we're workshopping," and we sent it to him, and he was like, "Hey, this sounds really, really good." Like we were baby Venus Overdrive, and we were like freaking out. He was like, "Hey, this is really good. Like I'd be happy to help you like mix it and stuff." And I think eventually we just got so busy with school that we didn't really have time, and we ended up mixing it ourselves. But just like from that interaction alone, just someone who was so experienced, just being so willing to help out a band like us that was so small. It was just so sweet. You know, that's what I'm talking about, the Central Illinois music scene. It's just really sweet. I have not experienced another scene quite like it, you know?
100% agree. Good stuff all around. Be nice. Everyone's so nice to each other, and supporting and even helping just in music in general, like
Yes.
filling in when you need something. Like everyone is just such a great community. If you're not a part of it, highly recommend like just looking into it. Check out the playlist of everyone that's been on this podcast, and you'll get a nice taste of everything. It's so special. Like we just had our anniversary show in Bloomington, and there's just so many people came out to see the bands and just enjoying the night. Like it was such a hot day, and then it really cooled off at night, and everyone was able to come together and just enjoy the music. We're at the skate park, so everyone's skating, and
Yes.
it's just such a great community just to be a part of. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but it's so true. So I'm not sorry.
You're just hitting that point. You're getting it through.
Yes, back to back. Marieli, I think we are at the end of the road here. Do you have anything that you want to plug that you have coming up as Roseli?
Just look out for the indie girl release. All my socials will be with the podcast, which is really awesome. So you could find it at Roseli Music on Instagram. Also just Roseli, all lowercase on like any streaming services. But yeah, look forward to it. I'm a kind of, as you greatly pointed out, I've kind of been doing a lot, and I'm really excited just to take a break, take it easy with family. As I just overall prep with the release. I don't have any shows coming up, so definitely follow me on Instagram just in case that I do book something. It should be coming up soon. But as I've said, I'd like to take this time to rest and just focus on putting out one song. So it's going to be fun.
Be sure to keep your eyes peeled for all of that. We will have links to Marieli's socials as Roseli below. I'll tell you where to find her too, but I have to thank her first. Marieli, thank you for coming out here and just spending some time with us talking about Roseli and your project and all the good creative stuff that you shared with us today. It's like I said, I think it's always so cool to hear everyone's different creative process, because you never know who it could help. Like there's people out there that want to write music and they just don't know where to start. So I think,
Yes.
hearing your perspective just adds on to that assistance for them.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was awesome. Like I said, I'm a really big fan of this podcast. I appreciate everything that you guys do to spotlight all of the talent and art down here. And yeah, thank you so much for having me. This was really awesome.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, you can find Marieli and Roseli on Instagram at Roseli Music, and you can find her on TikTok at Roseli Music. It's the same thing. It is spelled Roseli Music. No spaces, all lowercase. You will find it. It's right there. It's super easy, really basic, guys. So go out there, smash that follow button on both platforms. Help out Marieli and get her music spread out a little more before Indie Girl drops this fall.
Yay.
Super excited. Below, there's going to be links to her music below too. Check her out. You will not be disappointed. Split Ends is a banger, so get yourself warmed up with Split Ends while we wait for Indie Girl.
Thank you.
But just like that, that's our show. You've been hanging out with Clubhouse Chronicles, where the sounds are hot, the stories are hotter, and the vibes absolutely off the charts. Don't forget to hit us up at our new spot on Instagram at Club Chron Pod for all the updates, news, and more on this podcast. Guys, you follow the Broken Record Music Club account, just go on over. It's in our bio. Just click it. And you can go over there and you get all the cool clips. There's weekly lists on all the new releases in Central Illinois we want to highlight, so send them our way too. If you have a new release coming out, just send those dates our way. We'll include you on the list. But we want to see you over there. We got these clips over there of the pod, so check it out. For all things Broken Record Music Club, though, we're still over at Broken Record Music Club across all socials, so you can check out our artists and all the other cool things we're up to. Mentioned our little pop-up show that we had last weekend. Super cool. We're going to have like a video recap. We did like the little reel recap, which was just GoPro footage. We had a former guest on here, Austin Corley, came out and shot the event. So he's putting together a cool little video for us. That will be out on our YouTube and on our socials as well. So you can check it out there. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. Getting my full YouTuber bag right now.
Yes.
But it really helps people like Marieli with Roseli and all of our other guests get pushed further out into the algorithm so that more people can hear their music, hear their stories. It really does help. If you can spend the 2 seconds and hit those, that would be great. They would appreciate it as well. Help us keep this music scene rolling and strong and get it the eyes that it deserves. I'm going to stand on that hill till I die. But until next time, keep it loud, keep it proud, and remember, Central Illinois is where the music magic happens. Peace.